welcome to Ginger Snapshots. Hey, this week I want to talk to you about confidence. Yes, confidence. And why would I want to talk about confidence? All my other videos has to do with something practical, something technical, what props do I use, what lights do I use, what camera do I use, that type of thing. But what I have learned in photography is that confidence is more important. And this may be more applicable to people that are trying to start a business than it would be to my own customers. But I believe that what I've learned applies everywhere. So what I've learned is that believing in what you do and who you are is a foundation of any business owner. And I would tell you when I learned this, and you know, whenever you have these life lessons, you always learn it the hard way. Well, most people don't, but I learned things the hard way. So when I first started doing my business, I was always all about learning my craft, learning my business, learning all these different lighting things, looking at the latest, hey, how can you get a magnet wall? And, what's the best way to store your things? Where's the best place to buy this? And that's what I was continually doing. And I was always trying to improve. And, hey, you're having a friend. Can I take your picture? Because I'm always wanting to practice, always wanting to learn. And that's good. And that is important. But I also didn't realize that I didn't have or present myself as confident. So I'll tell you what happened. I went to a training. So most of my education is, I have a degree in strategic leadership, ministry leadership. I'm working on my degree in ministry right now. So it has nothing to do with marketing. It's leadership. Strategic leadership really has a lot to do with business, and you do learn a lot of leadership and business practice, organizational health, that type of thing, but not about marketing for an organization or for a business or anything like that. And so I realized that I needed to do that. I needed to pick that up. I needed to learn that. So I got to go to this free class downtown Wichita, and it was about 6 takeaways for your business. Now we're in a big open, U-shaped, square-shaped table atmosphere, and everybody's in there, and we go around the room and we share with everybody what our name is, what our business is, goals, strengths, and challenge. And so, you just say that quickly and you go on. So throughout the day, it was a very interactive, like one of those retreats you go to for work. And you're interacting with each other. And so there was a gentleman that sat beside me, and he was a part of my interaction most of the day. And in his interaction, we had to ask each other, what is your challenge? What do you challenge? And, it was even about your mindset. What's your mindset? What is challenging in your mind? What is challenging in your business? And so it was really to pull that out of us and try to get us to think. And at the end of the day, I reached down, set my purse up on the table, and I have a little key tag that hangs from my purse. It's just something that my friend Gail made for me. She pulled a picture off my website that I did, and then has my business information on the other side. So I pulled that up, and that man said, he reached over and he grabbed that tag. You took this? And I said, yes. And he goes, oh, well, you need to have, put your pictures on your website or something. He was giving me a compliment, but I saw his face when he says, you took this? And I realized that I must not have presented myself as a good photographer or as a competent photographer, because, and I realized the context of the day was we were being vulnerable and showing, we all were being vulnerable and kind of showing the challenges. And it was very helpful because we saw what each other was going through. And it was bringing a perspective in from the other one, et cetera, et cetera. But I realized he did not expect me to take that good of a picture. And so from that moment on, I realized I have to be mindful of how I present myself, but then the question comes to say, what do I believe about myself? What do I believe about my work? If you were going to a doctor for a medical procedure and he asked you, can you take out my appendix? And he says, yeah, I think I can do that. I think I could do a pretty good job. Is that good enough? Or would you want it to go to the doctor that says, yeah, I got this. I've done this a million times. It's no problem. It's an easy procedure. You get that confidence matters for in a position that could be life and death. And maybe it's not as critical in somebody getting their picture taken, and it's not like I'm out there doing wedding pictures or anything like that. That's a one-time thing or one-time chance. But it's still It was what I realized. And here's what I also realized. I knew this a long time ago. And I will tell you this, that I know that God spoke this to me. And I'm up front. I'm a believer in God, and I intermix my faith with everything about my life. And that's just who I am. So I believe that God said this to me, not in an audible voice, like, oh, Ginger, if you believe you. No, it was nothing like that. I just believe that was something, what God said to me in a way. And one day I was out shopping at Ross, and I found this sign, and it says,
as believe you can and you will.
Now this sign was $6.99, and it is in my favorite color. So I knew I had to buy it. It didn't cost anything, and it's in my favorite colors, and it was something that I know that I need to know. And so when we built the studio, it was just such an undertaking for us. It may have been easy for other people, but with the amount of knowledge that we had and how much we had to learn and how much we had to spend and et cetera, our age, our health, all of that played into it. It was like, so when we got in here, it was like, yes,
if believe you can and you will.
It just seems like it's so appropriate for my studio that it has to be in here, that if you believe you can, you
will.
But I just realized that me having confidence in my work and me believing that I can is more important than my ability to take a picture first time in focus and, to that type of thing. Also, what I'm learning is you're interacting with people. And there are people that I will go to as a business because I like them. They were so nice to me that it's like, if I need this done, then I want to go to them. And that's the kind of person I want to be. But in order to be that kind of person, I have to believe
I will.
I have to have confidence in my work, confidence in who I am. And when I have that confidence in who I am, and then the creativity opens up. And so then photography is it's art, and it's subjective. So part of it is, how somebody interprets it. But when I'm behind the camera and I have confidence in who I am and I'm comfortable in who I am, then that opens up that creativity to be who I want to be, to do what I want to do. And that is why I say confidence in photography is so important. When you don't have that fear of messing up, that fear of not being good enough, that fear of, all of that kind of thing plays into your business as a business owner. And it applies to so many things in life. I just recently did a reel that says, if you have enough. That's one thing that's in photography. It's confidence. It's always feeling like you need one more thing to make it happen, that you don't have enough to do what you want to do. You need more props. You need more education. You need this, you need that. And it's really about having confidence, believing you have what you need, and believing that you are enough. And it's overcoming all of that imposter syndrome that is in photography, that seeing everybody else post everything that's perfect, and you think that their life must be perfect, and every picture they take is perfect, and their hair is perfect every day, and that's just not reality. And it's just knowing that it doesn't matter. It's the whole thing. In photography, it's community over competition. And when you learn that, when you are confident in who you are as a person, you don't have to worry about competing with anybody else, because like, I'm me. Why are people going to come to me for my work? Because they like my style, because they like me as a person, because I'm me. If they don't like me, there's a lot of other photographers they can choose from, and that's okay. Believe me, there's enough work for all of us. We don't have to compete with each other, and life is better when you know who you are, you believe you can, and you can. So that's what I'm going to leave you with. Yes, it more or less was an inspirational video, more than a technical video. But if you want to be a successful photographer, you've got to learn. Believe in yourself. You can do it. You have enough. Go for it. See you next week. Don't forget, hit like and subscribe. Bye.